Austin and the In-Laws.
Greetings, it is Matt Hall and
Austin Petrushun
of the band
Austin and the In-Laws.
Yes, today we want to talk about how we made an album and, more importantly, what it cost. We have a line-by-line breakdown of everything it took for us to make Songs of Yearning on vinyl with the accompanying songbook. And it goes both sides and inside.
We did the whole process, start to finish. We did a Kickstarter campaign to pay for every step of the way. Successfully, I might add.
Yes.
And if let's say you're in a band or you just have a project similar to this and you want to know what it takes and what it costs, we're here to be transparent about that, so you're better off for it.
And this is also coming from two guys who don't have a ton of experience with this and are learning for the first time on doing a vinyl. Like I've helped to press some records, but I've never had to be the person on point for every aspect of getting it done.
Yeah. And I've made CDs, but usually you're the one making the CD. I've burned them in my bedroom and written on them with Sharpie, but that's about it.
I've heard about you burning stuff in your bedroom. Your parents were very concerned about that in your teenage years.
Well, it paid off.
I guess one thing I wanted to bring up as we get into this that might be on the minds of some people is, why press a record?
Yeah.
And just, if you can, we don't need to wax poetic about this for hours, but, I'm curious. I know what I feel was my motivation. I'm curious if you had a personal motivation.
I mean...
Or are you just going with the flow?
Well, no, I mean, I would say, very importantly, as my trusted bandmate, who does have a lot of experience overall and has a good aesthetic and artistic sense, I did just think it was a good idea that you had. But now, in retrospect, especially, it's probably the thing I'm most proud of making so far in my life. I'm probably easily to say that, actually, because it is one of those things and it's 2026 now at the making of this video. Everything is becoming invisible and digitized and abstracted and accessible one day, not accessible the next. That I think long-term, the philosophy of what we try to do as a creative musical duo is reflected in making something permanent that is just a technology that worked for a really long time and continues to work. And so why not make our music on something that is just proven it's going to last basically forever unless there's a severe catastrophe in the world. So there's something really beautiful to me about making something, as do-it-yourself as possible, that is just going to stand the test of time, literally is scratched into a physical object. It doesn't matter if you're connected to the internet or not. Our songs are on that piece of material here. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
I have records from 100 years ago. I have music of my own that I've put on CD 20 years ago, I'll say, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, that I don't have a copy of. It's gone forever. I don't have the digital files. I don't have the CDs. I have CDs from 2008, 2009, 2010, 2012 that just don't work because they just were cheap consumer CDRs that weren't made to last. And it's like...
Well, I think if they did last forever, if a CD just didn't ever deteriorate, we might have just made a CD. I think that's fair, at least for me to say.
Yeah,
if it was as trustworthy of a technology.
I think that a lot of what you're saying, it sounds like it's coming to you in retrospect, and so it's kind of like, why did you stick with the process, and what did you gain from doing a record? But for me, what the motivation was, but I think I proposed. If I did propose it, if that's what you're accusing me of, I thought it'd be something that would kind of make a bit of a splash. It'd be a statement on, as we started as a musical duo in this group, we were a cover band and we wanted to start doing more original material, and we were doing pretty good, I'd say, financially for our own standards as a cover band. We were doing outlaw country music, lots of Johnny Cash, and then the other outlaws and all the famous names. And as we started to put our own songs in there, we did get a positive response from people, but it was kind of like, how do we maybe say we are actually really a band? In what way is more, timeless in a way than, I'd say,
a real record.
this or, an iconic music video or like the top two things, or it's like, that can be like a lasting statement in terms of music from the last 50 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the record sticks around, the music video sticks around. So if we made the Sabotage video, we'd be doing a video on how much that cost. But anyway, so
well, I was gonna say I think I took it as a given in my response. Like we are a band, we write great songs.
Yeah.
But at the time, this was a way of proving that.
Yeah, it felt a lot more definitive than we'd pressed. I think 2 CD releases, self-released 2 CD releases, and those sold a handful of copies. But we got people much more excited about this. Like this, people that wouldn't have never bought a CD from us bought this because it does feel like something. It feels like something's happening. There's an excitement to it. There's a lot of power to a physical object like this that, it can't be taken for granted when you're working on a very small scale and you're like, we're not like a band that tours. We're not a band that has a lot of recognition outside of our immediate area.
We're not in a big city.
No, and there's not, we have so at our scale, at our scope, it's like, this feels like a really important thing. I think there's a lot of other artists and musicians out there who would feel similarly about, how do I basically legitimize my art and, that perception of the power of an album. It does still work somehow in this day and age, even though we did this campaign 7 years ago and it's been
Was it 7 already?
Yes.
Anyway,
we did this campaign in late 2024 is when it resolved.
Yeah. So recording it was late 2023.
Yes, and that was the start of the process. And another question I'll ask here: why did you want to go to the studio we went to, where we went to Business District Recording in Johnson City, New York, with Hunter Davidson at the helm, and we did it to tape? And there's a lot of cool stories we can tell about doing the album. It was very fun, very cool gear. But
we have some of those already recorded if anyone's interested.
That's also true. Did you have any strong feeling toward, okay, we're going to do an album, let's record it to tape?
I think there's an aspect of, if we're going to do a vinyl record, we might as well go all the way as far as we can with channeling that approach. Because like one thing about modern vinyl records that they put out, so many of them are taken from digital masters or just kind of slapped together, so to speak. Not really optimized for an actual vinyl record release, because you don't finish off music the same way, whether it's a CD, whether it's a vinyl record, whether it's released digitally or something. Yeah,
there's different frequency ranges, there's different feels that you need to make sure your tracks are best suited for that format and what it can put out.
Yeah. So Hunter was someone that we knew spiritually was kind of into the same kind of thing anyway. Like he likes a lot of good old music. He understands the value of doing things the hard way, doing things in a physical way, and that there is a tangible difference between the convenient modern digital way of approaching something and kind of the old-fashioned way of doing something. And I think that all just kind of combined into, let's do it to a tape. He's got an awesome old tape machine. And then we did go onto a computer once, that just for convenience and not losing the files, whatever, managing them. But then we got that and we did a master that was optimized for the vinyl record. So it was like, there was that lossless digital step in between, but it was mostly just all analog. And you get that result artistically that you can't really imitate very well.
Yeah, there are purists who will say, well, if it ever went to digital, you're breaking the chain. That wasn't really our angle. We weren't trying to get the most purist type of,
not like our friend Sam Egan, who actually did do that.
Yes, who mixed it to tape and everything, and it never touched the computer.
But we wanted the ability to overdub and kind of manage tracks,
but we did want to
losing our
capture
minds,
onto tape and have that as like the foundation of the sound. And for me, also, the big thing was, I just think his records sound cool, and I wanted to do one with him.
Yeah, that's the simplest way to put it.
But then again, there are all these things where it's like, if you're gonna put something on vinyl, for me personally, I go, it can't be something I recorded in my bedroom. It's got to be, unless I am better than I am today.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing is we know Hunter has a great track record of producing cool bands and putting out cool releases, and he's got an awesome studio. It's like we might as well make everything fit the standard that we're aiming for, and that included going to someone who was a pro.
So the main thing we had to cover before we did anything was the cost of recording the music itself. But until we had that, we actually couldn't make the record.
That was the very first cost, and it was substantial.
So the first cost associated with recording the album was getting the tape itself.
Yes.
We had to buy the literal tape that we were recording onto. So that was $303.56. We got 2 reels of tape.
That's right.
And I think we only used one.
I think we only used one, and we just rewound it and re-recorded as we needed it to get each take. I think we have a fresh one. I've got, I believe, in my closet at home on the top shelf. Mm-hmm. And whatever's on that tape that we did use is the last thing we recorded at the time. So if we were to play that back, we'd have some good memories.
Now, the album itself was recorded in a marathon 3-day session where we got all, 10 songs on here?
I believe so.
All done live, one take. I think we started with another song, maybe like nixed one during the process at some point. But
I think we considered one more song, but we got there, it was like 5 or 6 p.m. Mm-hmm. We worked for about 5 or 6 hours, tracked all the basic tracks. I think it was about 10 hours the next day, and then maybe 5 or 6 hours the next day after that, and that was it. Approximately 20 hours of work.
So we had a flat rate of $900 that we paid for that, rather than being charged an hourly rate where we were kind of under the gun for time. We just said, here's the flat rate, and we'll just work hard and fast and get through it.
We really did too.
To get to Johnson City and back from the North Country where we live, $65 in gas is what he says. I don't drive, so I don't know. He could be what does gas cost? Like 50 cents for a cup?
For a cup, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so once we had the songs recorded and mixed, once we had the songs recorded, they had to be mixed.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I think he was doing a little bit kind of vague stuff as we went along just to make sure everything was in its right place. But,
we weren't sure. I feel like there was just a little bit of time to go, do we mix it ourselves? Do we bring it to someone cheaper to mix?
Yeah.
And
well, I think he was into the material.
He was.
He was enjoying it. We were enjoying it. We liked what he was doing.
Unless he was just lying to us.
Well,
no, it was clear that he was enjoying himself.
And so he already had ideas of where he probably would have liked to go with mixing choices, and we were just like...
So this was not in the budget initially.
No, this wasn't originally planned for, but it did seem like the absolute next logical thing to do.
Was to give him $1,000 to mix it.
Yeah.
Basically, so cutting us a deal, really, $100 per song.
Yeah.
Like that's a very fair deal.
It was all very fair. He really...
when I say fair, it was very fair to us.
No, yeah.
It was very gracious.
Yes. He hooked us up for
a
good value.
So that was $2,268.56
total. So that's master tape, the tape itself, 3 days of recording, only the recording, gas to get there
and back,
and he let us stay at his place, so that was free.
That's good.
So get yourself a friend.
We
make friends.
We did not. So these are all. I should also say these are all band costs,
right?
That we're splitting.
When
we have things like food and stuff. Personally, my thing has always been everyone's in charge of their own meals. Like unless we have like a tour manager or a project manager or someone who's like got the food budget worked out and like you get like a stipend or something for food. It's like I think in these kinds of projects, it's easiest to just go. Yeah, you better bring some fucking pocket change, all right, dummy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was probably $20 to $40 a day, depending on where we went. Like we went to the grocery store, we went to a diner, we got pho. Like
we did,
but we didn't have to go to a restaurant. We could have. But
it was
part
of the experience.
We bonded.
I was treating myself.
It was a good time.
It also helps to have meals with the people you're working with.
Yeah.
It seems silly, but it's true. So but what I mean to say is. Those are some of the invisible costs that we're not covering here. We're going, what does it cost for the band to do these things? Yeah. Maybe you're like a breatharian or something, and you don't have to pay for food.
Yeah, I'm going to starve myself the entire time to make a better record and save money.
The next step in the process was manufacturing the records. Why don't you go over these steps here?
Right. So, in total, should I just start with the total?
Yeah.
To manufacture the records, we got them recorded. We got the files. We were happy with them. Now we had to actually make these records. That cost us about $2,244 in total. So, step one, mastering and lacquer cutting by SAF Mastering.
No shade to anyone, but I believe we went to 2 other people first who we made contact with and then kind of were ghosted or...
Yeah, it was annoying for a time.
And,
we didn't really get a good communication line.
We could have chased it, but when I'm trying to do business like this kind of thing, the second I go, I'm getting kind of irked. And this is, there's been people I didn't get back to quickly or didn't get back to at all. I understand how it happens. Personally, though, I go, we gotta move on.
If it's serious enough, you expect a certain level of professionalism and communication and whatever.
Right.
And
but you also never know what is going on the other side. So it's like, don't take it personally,
right.
but also...
No hard feelings, but...
The personal part should be protecting yourself from getting annoyed and going, all right.
Or ripped off, at worst.
Well, yes.
So anyway, it took us like 2 tries. It took us like several months. I remember it was kind of like an excruciating couple months, really, of waiting to find somebody, waiting to hear back. But we ended up finding SAF Mastering, who was super good. And that cost us, for I think 10 tracks, getting the lacquer cut. That's like the thing to make that's like the master record to like make all the records later, right?
Yeah. They're basically all little clones of the one Patient Zero record.
So it's like a pretty full service thing. That cost us $734. Mm-hmm. After that, literally making 200 records. I believe it was 200. And that included the labels, the sleeves, the pressing of the records. That was $995. So almost $1,000 just to get this part, a bunch of those to have in inventory to sell.
There's a sticker on there. There's the white sleeve. There's the jacket.
The jacket comes next. The jackets were separate.
Right. And
so this artistic, beautiful piece of art that the records come in that helps us sell them because it looks nice. That itself cost $315 to get 100 or 200 of those. So, I mean, do the math. It was about, I think it's $1,310 if I'm adding that up right in my head. About $1,300 to get 200 records with the sleeves and labels, and then the colorful jackets, both sides decorated with information. I think the front was color only, the back was black and white, which saved us a little money compared to if we'd done like a full color thing.
Yeah, and I thought that was wise.
But it looks like looks like a normal record. You go in a record store, you pick it up.
Now, something that we didn't touch on. This was not AI generated. This is something that when we made these notes initially, forgot to put in here. But so we're at $22.44. Add another $500. So that's $2,744 because we paid $500 to Ricardo Diseño to make this lovely cover art, which I am so happy with.
It's so beautiful, and it kind of looks like me.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of. Certain times.
It was really gratifying to see his art online go, this is pretty cool. And then to be able to work with him. I think that if there's ever an artist you like, just try. Sometimes you'd be surprised at what you can afford or what you can't. Yeah. Sometimes I go, oh, wow. Okay. Maybe I'll come back.
Yeah. I think that might even be a theme, and maybe we should just sum up the themes later on, but being willing to stretch a little bit to make something nice. Say, you know what, that art looks really cool. I think it would be perfect for what we're doing. $500 for a custom piece of artwork probably sounds like a lot to a lot of people.
It is.
And it is. If I would love $500 right now. That could do so much good. But at the same time, we're like we talked about, we're making something that is an artistic creation that's going to last forever. And we just want it to be primo.
And I'll also say, for the back, my wife, his sister, shot this photo of us right in front of my house.
Yeah. So this photo was free.
Yes. And I designed
Aside
this.
from having a camera to do so. Matt did the graphical layout.
We asked a friend, Michael, from Famous Letter Writer, to do this poem on the back for us. And then Austin wrote the credits, and I put the design together. But
Yeah, so
you know,
the back was as cheap as could get.
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say is like, you know, we maxed out the art budget on the front. I think that's fine. And I think that's a great way to kind of stretch things is go, you know, it's something I notice sometimes when I'm buying old sets of DVDs and there's multiple DVDs in a case. I found a few times where the first DVD is full color printed and the like disc 2 and 3 are just a plain white with black text.
I don't know if I ever thought of that, but I feel like I know what you're talking about.
And it's like front cell the nice graphic.
Yeah.
It works.
I probably just wondered why when I was a kid and then just never thought about it again.
Yeah. All right. So that's actually $27.44 plus $22.68.56. So I did attend public school, and $5,012.56 is our total right now to have made this from top to bottom: the cover art, the jackets, the records, the sleeves, the stickers, the recording, the mastering, the mixing, the lacquer, the gas. There are more costs associated with this. And this was where
that's what the video's about.
Really started to add up in a way where we go, oh so my God.
Our problems began.
Yes.
So, well, shipping the records wasn't too bad. Because we're still talking only about records.
Yes, and we're also talking about the bigger picture is the Kickstarter campaign. So we used the campaign to get the money for the record, but then in a move that I applaud us for seeing it through and being able to finish this, but I think we made a lot of, even though this is, I think, our third, or at least my third time doing a Kickstarter successfully, made some rookie mistakes along the way. So, well, all right, well, so we'll,
yeah,
that's a teaser.
Let's focus on those mistakes later to really give people some hard lessons so that they can not trust us and make themselves and learn the hard way as well, because that's how it goes. But anyway, so shipping the records, we have a sum total here of $118.45, ding, plus an additional $204.47 in actual shipping costs as of the time of the writing of this year. So what does that mean? That means we spent $59.99, around $60 on 50 plain white record mailers. And that would be the cardboard shell. And then we also had $16.99 for 72 feet of bubble wrap. That came in very handy. We had $21.99 for 50 corrugated cardboard sheets to stuff in and make things not move around so much while they're in transit.
So something that we discovered was that shipping records is picky. It's a nuanced little craft, and you can get these shippers, these mailers, in a couple different sizes. They have a couple different widths, but no matter what, they're wider than a record.
Yeah.
So you need to pad the box with something to make sure the record is firmly packed in there so it doesn't break in transit.
Around.
And that's what the cardboard spacers are for. And
I think we found that out a little late too.
It was very very funny to go, oh, cool, you sold us a box that's just so big. Oh, you happen to sell the spacers too. How convenient.
Which again, it felt like we had just had 2 or 3 tries over a course of about a month and a half to find these things out and then try to rectify them. So that was the cardboard sheets, and then we spent $9.28 on tax for the previous 3 things we had to buy, and then also we got some custom address labels, which is kind of a fun little touch. But it did save us time. It was attractive. It looked professional.
Time.
$10.20 for some pre-printed address labels as we were shipping out our, that was our address.
Yeah, for every record we sold, we had to, write the name, address, return address. Just write your name and address 10 times in a row right now.
Yeah, we had a lot of those to do. So we just stick the label on. So with all this in mind, shipping materials cost per record $2.37 each. $2.37 each to ship these records with the materials. Beyond that,
to pack the records.
That's just to pack the stuff physically. It was $161.73 in post office costs. Literally the cost to ship the records to backers and Associates.
Everyone who pre-ordered the record basically or bought it at launch. Yeah, it was...
Which was a lot more than the actual materials. And that all added up to a total cost to package and ship one record being $13.59 to ship.
And that's to ship in summer 2025.
Yes. We were mailing these maybe early June, mid-June.
Mm-hmm. And the costs have gone up since then. Mm-hmm. So that's something to be aware of, is check shipping rates and plan accordingly, because they are always changing.
It's a good starting point. Yeah, we did media mail.
Media mail is the cheapest option, and it's good if you're selling any kind of books, records, anything like that, anything that doesn't have advertisements in it. But it's still a lot, and some of these were going across the world, which
we had to fill out some customs forms.
That was a pain.
They
not
cost
knowing
more money.
Always how to format an address for a certain country, and I remember asking at the post office for help, and they didn't know either. And I go, okay, I guess
were not much help.
I guess I'll just have to ask Reddit.
Yeah, I think I had to take it to a separate post office eventually.
You did, yes,
and that person knew what they were doing. So I think your mileage varies, kind of thing.
Yes,
but I mean, yeah, but you can't really. I don't know.
So one of the other things that we talked about when, in terms of making a lasting statement with our music, the thing that has actually proven the test of time more than recorded music is written music. And so we decided, there's a few different things here, but the basic ideology is, we are a band that pulls from this rich tradition of American folk music, and a lot of those songs were passed on through sheet music or oral tradition throughout, just different communities. And then as music was recorded, maybe more definitive versions of a song came out, but certain melodies and chord progressions and stuff, and a lot of the kind of building blocks of country music go back way before music was being recorded. And there's documentation of that. And we thought, we should throw our hat in the ring. And so...
Yeah. And I think maybe this idea of making a songbook of our songs came from, we're making a Kickstarter campaign to try and raise money to make a record. What's a special thing that we can do so that it's worth people supporting it? Because, Kickstarter, that's just how they structure things. You give people rewards in some kind of way. And we had brainstormed one day, and I was like, what can we do? Why don't we just write out the songs? People can learn them on their own. So
simple chords and lyrics, as you'll see, and we put our little notes in here. This is something that I thought would be very easy to put together, and it turned out to be very difficult to put together, because what I didn't realize was these little chord diagrams that you take for granted. You see them in every songbook. I could not find high-resolution, print-ready assets like this, and I think it might be something that the companies that make the songbooks have those, but those aren't things that you can just go and get. And I found a few instructors online, or people who are like, oh, you're trying to be a music teacher. Like, I have resources for music teachers. Here's the little chord diagrams for you to use in your lesson plans. They're just low res JPEGs. You couldn't print them. And so I had to make all of this from scratch, which I'm not a proficient graphic design person. And what I basically did was I made this grid, and then I put all the dots on it. And then using layers in Photoshop, I just hid the dots I didn't need and showed the ones I did need to make all the different chord shapes. And I used, some of the standard songbooks that Austin and I grew up using as inspiration for the formatting, and try to make it look like the kind of thing that if I was, I'm thinking back, I'm 13 years old, I'm looking at a chord book, can I play the song? I want it to be that level of accessibility for people. And I think we achieved it, but the time it took to actually get this done was, that's just one of the things you go, it's a labor of love. I got to say, fuck it. I'm not going to recoup that.
I'm not getting that time back. Yeah. And that's maybe another one of the themes, is that everything that we thought was going to take a certain amount of time took like twice or three times that much time and energy.
Yeah,
and so I'm glad that we chose things that we really believe in.
Yes, I think it's just, if it's not something you fully believe in, you're not ready to suffer a little bit when you're working at a very low level like this, you're going to have a bad time because the suffering is inevitable and you got to kind of love it.
Yeah, you got to be willing to suffer for your art. Have you ever heard that before? So anyway, that's like the informational side of, here's another cost that came out of raising money for the record, trying to make something cool. Altogether, making the songbook cost us $212.60, and so many hours, so many man hours of Matt losing his mind. And really, I mean, I put in some of the work of like, writing out the songs, putting the chords in place, but you did a bulk of the...
Yes, and another thing that happened was pretty much all of your work was not very helpful, it turned out. Because you typed everything up nice, and then when I went to go put it into the program where I'm formatting it, it could not keep the formatting. So
of like a chord over a word kind of thing, it would just move everything.
Yeah.
After you pasted it into your...
you typed the lyrics and the chords, but it's not like you were saving us time, really. You just did the work, and then I had to do like about 75% of the work again to manually place everything. And then the other thing I noticed was the chords and the words are two different fonts. So I had to, normally you can highlight a body of text and change the font.
I see.
I couldn't find a way to highlight every other line of text. So I had to go back in and highlight a line of text, change the font, highlight a line of text, change the font. I could go, all right, everything, font A, and then go B, 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 B. But either way, there was, and thankfully now I have a template that if we were to do another songbook, it could be typed into the template, and then we're there. Maybe I could have used the template and had you just rewrite the chords and lyrics, but I don't know. At that point, I was not thinking straight.
And there's probably someone out there who like understands what we're trying to do and is like, we could have done that in 5 minutes. But like we're saying, we don't have that knowledge yet.
And
when we were doing this.
We didn't have any more money to spend.
We were like, we had to figure out how to make this work on our own time. So, and I think Matt, I'm going to have you put a graphic up of the number plus some depiction of the amount of gray hairs you have and the hair you lost and the blackness in your heart that grew having to do this. So $203.46 for printing the songbook. You have something to say?
I believe it was during this time where I finally banished Adobe from my life.
Oh, you finally gave up on Adobe because of this project.
And I think this is one of the projects that pushed me over the edge.
Saved you the subscription fees.
I guess it was more of a boon than I had realized.
So we printed the songbook for $203.46. That was 110 copies, black and white, with a color paper cover, 28 pages. I think there were kind of strict limits on, you have to do it in multiples of like 4 or something to print. And, color would obviously be a lot more. So we did the best, and it wasn't, all things considered, too much per unit. What was it, like $2? $2 per book or so. And then we also bought pens specifically to make our little, personalized handwritten notes. Yeah. That was $9.
I wanted to make sure we had like a very fine point pens so that we could, that it would be the kind of thing where we wouldn't start drawing and then we just fill the whole page up. It had to be approached very intentionally.
So, and we didn't really go into that too much, but not only is it a songbook, there's some personal touches that even if you don't know what you're looking at to make music, you get some enjoyment out of our little sense of humor and stuff.
Hopefully.
Or even just curious little factoids we wrote in there.
Yes. Did you know your body is made of 100% water?
100%, wow.
So, as we got this Kickstarter campaign going, the campaign ran for 1 full month, and during that time we were doing social media updates almost every day, trying to make sure we were like really on it, just pushing it.
We were definitely afraid of not being transparent enough about the process.
Yeah. And also definitely afraid of not making the money.
Well, that too.
And just pushing it online and in person. And that's another one of these kind of hidden costs is I see some people make a campaign and that they like wait like 2 weeks to post about it again. It's like you're going to have to be committed to hyping it every day for 30 days straight.
You have to kind of like put aside any fear you have of being annoying or self-promotional. Like, you really just have to embrace it. 'Cause
Everyone
if we didn't
understands.
do that, yeah, it's like
They go, oh, that guy's poor. Let
Yeah.
him go. He's
And
only a month.
people have a bigger tolerance for it than you think.
Yeah.
En masse.
Just don't be the person who's doing them all the time.
Yeah, this was a very special. We made it a very special thing.
But also, so in doing that, we wanted to make sure we really had good rewards. So the songbook was part of that. But the other things that we decided to do were posters that we would send to everyone who backed at a certain level, a little merchandise pack that had some stickers and goodies in it. And we paid $300 for a piece of art that we didn't know what we were going to do with it. So I'm not going to count that as necessarily
that was
the
a long
cost of this
time ago.
poster.
I think we just wanted a really cool design that
There
we
was-
were going to
yeah.
use on merchandise eventually. That was
Yeah.
like a year before we even...
We've done shirts, but shirts are kind of a tangle themselves that we can get into in another video. Merch is hard because the upfront costs can be so much. And it often, if you're gigging, it will pay off.
Yeah.
But the upfront costs are hard, and knowing what's a good piece of merch and what maybe isn't going to sell, it's a real delicate thing. But we knew that this was a cool design, so we got the design. We thought we'll use it on something. I think we put down some stickers and badges and stuff before this, but we had the design, and I reworked it into a poster. I did a little background, border, text, illustration, got this whole thing put together, and we found a place that would print them at 13 inches by 19 inches, full color on a nice cardstock. Now, the thing that I didn't quite think about is, this is a nice art print, basically.
It feels good. It looks good. It's like, it's a nice poster.
Yeah, it's not like a studio quality print or anything. It's a cool concert poster.
Yeah.
The paper we got it on matte paper instead of glossy paper. So it's not shiny and reflective. And the thing that I didn't realize was how easily that paper would crease and crinkle when you start to do anything to it. So we couldn't fold the posters in half because they would basically never open back up. Might just crack in half.
Well, there's that. Yeah. I mean, we probably wouldn't have folded them. We didn't really want to do any folding, but it's true.
I've gotten posters folded from all sorts of bands, and you just kind of go, that is what it is. I've got a Prince poster over here. I have got a bunch of that. That wasn't an option for us here. Somewhere, one of us read that the triangle-shaped cardboard mailer tubes, rather than the circular ones, are more resistant to crushing in transit. We ordered some mailers. So the posters themselves, we actually got very cheap, $49.28 for 100 posters. That's about 50 cents per poster.
Yeah. For nice posters.
For what I think is a nice poster. The triangle mailers, we got 50 of them for $153.49. We figured 50 would be enough to cover all the Kickstarter backers and maybe some mail order stuff. Mm-hmm. When we got the triangle mailers, we could not roll the poster up tight enough to get it into the mailer. They weren't the right size.
We were so close, and that's what made it so frustrating. You could get really close.
You could get really close, but the tighter you rolled the paper, the more susceptible to crushing it was, crushing it you were, which was...
I think we lost like one
point.
poster doing that, and it just totally demoralized us.
Yeah. So okay, let's return them. So,
and it was the biggest triangle I think we could get, too.
Yeah, it was $153.49. We returned them, and we got a refund, but we were short $68.19 on the refund. So they gave us $85.30 back. So we had to pay $68.19
Took like
learn
a 40% bath on that.
To learn that we got the wrong stuff. So we got new poster tubes, which came in the smallest quantity, a case of 100.
And these, in contrast to the collapsible foldable triangles that we tried to make work all conveniently, these are big, thick, round tubes made of cardboard, stiff cardboard that don't collapse. They take up a lot of volume in the physical world, but we got them.
We got them for $379.70.
And almost $100 of that was the shipping cost on getting those tubes.
Yeah.
I think it was like $92 shipping.
Yeah.
To get the tubes to us.
And then having the tubes, they took up, when they were in their boxes, it was the size of your car. Like, I don't mean like it was the interior of the car. It's the size of a car.
Yeah, I think you had like 4 boxes.
I had 4 boxes of them. It took up my
tubes.
entire front porch. It was crazy how big these things were. This is stuff that you would normally get loaded into a warehouse or a receiving room at a store.
Yeah. We got this from a Uline, which probably some of you out there recognize that name, Uline.
So you might think, damn, they only paid like 50 cents per poster. Well, the posters, we spent $497.17 plus, because the poster was included in the Kickstarter rewards, we paid an additional $73.95 to ship the posters to the people who...
Anyone who claimed one was entitled to one. We just shipped them for free, quote-unquote free, which meant we just paid for the shipping to anyone who supported us at a certain level. So basically every step of this poster category cost more than the posters themselves. The actually getting the posters was the cheapest part. But the design,
$300,
getting a shipping solution, having that fail, refunding it, even the refund costs more than the original poster order. A different shipping solution that costs many times what that was, and then literally shipping the posters themselves. So getting posters, pretty cheap. Every other thing about it, not so cheap.
And the thing I'll say is I've reached out to 2 people who sell posters. And I go, where did I go wrong? What can I learn? And they have said,
it cracks me up.
You didn't do anything wrong. Selling posters is horrible. If you're not making a buck on those posters, get away from it. It is so horrible. To roll them up and even get them in there is such a pain.
Yeah.
And then the tubes take up so much space. They're so expensive. They're very expensive to ship. And depending on the size of the poster, you can easily find yourself with what is called an oversized package, which the post office will just put like an extra $30 charge on top of your shipping rate for it being over a certain number of inches.
Yeah.
So I would say posters, if you can give them away at shows, they're a great promo item. If I would say, go ahead, spend the money on a good piece of art. And I think it's going to make a lasting impression as well, similar to the record, where it's like, I've seen pictures. We've gotten some great pictures from people who have it framed in their home, and it's just so nice.
Yeah. And one thing that maybe is worth mentioning is since this whole thing went down, we've realized maybe like a flat, stiff kind of envelope might have been a good idea for a similar or even cheaper cost.
Well, not for shipping, though.
But not for shipping. But I mean, like if you want to go the poster route and you don't want to ship them, but because they are a pretty good item to have, it's a pretty good margin. They're cool at shows. People like them, whatever. We especially did well with framing them, which we didn't mention yet. But a frame really shows off a poster. But these like stiff cardboard envelopes might be a better idea if you're not shipping them, but you still want to get into the poster world and make some money.
So the thing is,
we wanted to ship them because we had this project and we wanted to get it out there.
I think for clarity, what you're talking about is the person buys a poster at the merch table.
Yeah.
We think the tube is kind of like a nice way to keep the poster protected. We play a lot of summer shows. People are outside. Like they spent, what would we sell posters for? $500?
Yeah.
So if someone spends money on a poster, or even if they don't, even if it's a freebie, they like it. Having the tube was like a nice way to keep it safe during the show. It's out on the grass. But if your goal is just to have, something for the customer to put it in, the flat mailers are probably a better option than the tubes, but I would have gladly bought 50 tubes and not have had 100 tubes.
That's true. A lower minimum order. Yeah. So.
Another aspect of this was CDs. So this was a vinyl release, but we do have an audience that likes CDs, and Austin felt strongly about getting a short run of CDs, and we've been going to a place that was called $1 Duplication. I think it's since been sold, but it's still up and running under a different name. And they make CDs cheap. They print them. They're printed CDRs. They look nice. They do the whole thing for you, the package, the insert. And so we got 100 CDs, including shipping, inserts, and sleeves, $136.99.
Yeah. I think if I'm being totally honest, the printing quality could have been better from whatever we got. I think we did try to go for more of a budget sort of thing on this because we didn't know, Well, like you said, I wanted to have CDs available, but we didn't want to I don't think we got the premium package.
I don't think it was that so much as we took this.
Well, and we didn't
shrunk
optimize
it down.
Yeah, we didn't really optimize it.
Maybe to 25% of its size. this text is really small in here already.
Yeah.
And that was completely a move made out of exhaustion.
Yeah, we were pretty done with it, and I was like, just let us get a couple CDs for the people.
Normally,
And,
when you buy an old LP like this that has like all this, all the credits on the back, if you get the CD reissue, they'll simplify it. It'll just be like the photo, the track listing, and then all this text will be inside the booklet because it's too much text to put in something that small.
That's a very good point. So no shade then against the CD printer.
No,
for us, that
we
was
gave
not
them an
their
impossible
fault.
task.
Yeah, all right, they're absolved completely. So anyway, we got 100 CDs that way, and we chose the package that cost $136.99. So about $1.37 per CD, which is pretty good. And they have been selling quite well. I think CDs, to some extent, CDs are coming back around right now. There's like a certain nostalgia for them from the 90s that's like, I think, out there. And then there's also enough people alive that just CD is still normal to them. They have the thing to play at home. Mm-hmm. So between those two things, just last weekend I sold 4 CDs in one night.
Hey,
Which is kind of crazy to say,
but
nice. It's true.
And, if they're, I don't know what we have them marked at, but
Right now, the CD is $10, which the music plays perfectly as intended. I think it's... Are they still selling CDs in stores? They gotta be. And I can't imagine they're as cheap as $10.
I see more vinyl in stores than CDs, but yeah, they're not $10. They're probably $25, $30.
I'm gonna check after this.
So another thing we did was we looked out for any of those little companies that do monthly deals on stickers, buttons, zippies, and all this stuff, and we go, let's just get a couple little merch items on the cheap and throw them in a merch pack. Just have a couple more branded goodies, so you feel like you're getting a little Easter gift basket from the band.
We've been kind of doing this for years, like little things to sell at shows, and we're always having a good time with it. But I think we were like, okay, let's do something special for the project, like at least 1 or 2 things you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, these would be unique items. So
I do think we sold leftovers later from the things we got. But
so we got these pins. They're $59.30 for, I want to say, I don't have the number in here, but I want to say it was 50 of them.
I think so. I think we got 50.
And we thought, oh, these are neat. So this is like an old logo the band used to use. We thought it'd be a fun thing to have on a piece of merch. These turned out to be, and I can't even remember where we got them from.
I think I do.
Okay.
Should we name and shame?
Sure.
Well, if we're gonna name and shame, I should actually look up.
Okay, then,
I won't guess.
Okay, we'll put it on screen right here. These things
these were
have
one of
broken. I've never bought merch that just every time I open the bag, more of them are broken.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was one of the worst merch quality items we have gotten.
Yeah, it's an acrylic.
It was hard to take the sticker on the front off that was covering the artwork. There's a protective
sticker, yeah.
And then like it's a pin back, and it would just snap off, and it would take some of the design that was printed on that side off. So you just have like this unusable.
So it seems as if they just have a piece of acrylic that has the logo on it, and there's like a transfer on that has the logo, and then it almost seems like they just like use the transfer or paint or whatever as the adhesive to stick the pin back to it, and then there's a rubber stopper on the pin back. The pin back is not secured very well to this, and they just rip off. Mm-hmm. It just in light transit. We're not smashing these things.
We were sorting them out the other day. We just found like 10 of them in the bag, just completely broken.
So that was a total bust.
And I mean, maybe for a little more context, we were like, we had this idea, we were scrambling, like, we want to get something cool, we want to make sure we get a deal on it, because again, we already budgeted out almost every dollar that we had, but we still wanted to make the merch pack special. So I think we got like a 50 or 60% off deal for these pins, which doesn't mean that it's okay that they're bad quality. I don't think.
No, I don't.
Because that means that they would have cost twice as much if we didn't get the discount.
These promo deals are supposed to be, try this product at a discount rate. Hey, maybe if it's good, you'll buy it again.
Now it's like we're never going to use them again because we had a terrible experience. Even though we did get a good price on it, it was actually a bad price because so much of it was broken and bad.
Now, along with this, inside of the record, and I don't know if there's one in here.
It's in the deluxe. Oh, here we go. The big reveal. Look at that. Isn't that professional? This is something that's always amused Matt and myself.
Yeah,
classic glossy headshot.
These are not very expensive. How much did we cost on these?
These, we got 100 of them for $82.95.
They're less than $1 each.
Less than $1 each to get a nice glossy headshot. And we had our friend take our photo one day.
Yes.
So again, the power of networking, the power of friendship. You know, if your friends have skills, maybe you can do some kind of a trade. So we had our friend take our picture.
And it was a trade. I was helping him do some stuff that I knew how to do.
Yeah. And then we got that printed for pennies on the dollar.
And I think that's another thing that when I have gotten in the past, older records, I remember them happening more. But getting that little, I think I have a Minor Threat record that came with one.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's just like, bands, that's how you used to sometimes only be able to see a band through their promo photo. And it feels like such a funny, like old-timey entertainment industry thing. When you go to like a deli or something, they have all the framed.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think this came out of an idea we had years ago with a different band.
Every time we play the venue, we mail them one of our signed 8x10s and hope that or not play a venue, but every time we eat somewhere on tour.
Yeah.
Well,
I think play a venue too. I think we just anywhere we went, we wanted to be
that's
able
true,
to send them a headshot.
I think we also sent them to like if someone put us up at their house, we'd mail them one.
Yeah. It was just a little token of appreciation that was also a little cheeky.
To me, it's like, I'm someone who could never understand why a person would send a photo of themselves out as a Christmas card. And the absurdity of that action is kind of being parodied by me through this. But also, at the same time, I love when I get one of these glossy photos of someone. I have one of my favorite comedians. And I think it's such a
certain
a
pageantry to it.
Yes.
There's a little showbiz, like you said. And I think people have hung them up.
That's so nice.
I think there's a radio station somewhere where they showed us. I think it's in Vermont. It's all coming back to me. I think we gave them one. They put it on their wall.
That's so nice.
Something like that.
So
it worked out.
That wasn't too crazy, but that was just another thing. And we try to go, what's a little value added thing we can put inside this whole record to make it feel like a deluxe record? Now, to get the word out, we have had a history of making videos together and doing live broadcasts on the internet.
Yeah.
Something that we've talked about for years with other people is a TV special. And
yeah, I'm really appreciating how we just let our imagination run wild from October to November 2025.
Just trying to make that money. So we thought, let's do an online. And now there's one thing that kind of sucks is that because of COVID, I think live stream shows were a cheapo way for people to make money when they couldn't go out and do stuff. And I think they've gotten kind of a bad rap. I think there's been a lot of things where it's like, see all the stars tonight. And it's just like them on a grainy laptop in their living room. And it just sounds terrible and it looks disrespectful to the viewer.
Like a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, I did not want to do that. I wanted to do a live stream show that I think people could rewatch and have a lot of fun with. So the idea was a mixture of live performances and comedy sketches. And we had a host. We paid a host $50. Mm-hmm. Thank you to Shelby for doing that for us. And we did the best we could to put on a show. We had
basically a script. Mm-hmm. Like a run of show, musical number, comedy skit, musical. Like we really planned it out. We had a backdrop that was, and 3 cameras, I think. Yeah,
we really tried to make it into a thing. So that cost us $50 to put on. Plus, I was becoming, and I felt so bad during it, but I had COVID during that and didn't know.
I forgot about that part. I probably just blocked that out.
Yeah. So thankfully, I don't think I gave it to everyone, but I was like, very suddenly was just like fever, sweating, feeling so bad, and just getting through it.
Well, you collapsed, and there was a cymbal crash, and then I had to do a song without you. That's part of the show.
We also did, in collaboration with a regional venue, we also did a fundraiser show.
Yeah.
We thought, there's this hip spot. We will do a show there and people at the show can sign up for the Kickstarter. How do you streamline the process of someone signing up for the Kickstarter in person when it's an online thing? We try to think about all that, put a lot of work and thought into this. It cost us $22.44 to make the signage for the event.
That was from Walgreens.
Yes, because we couldn't print anywhere else, and it was... I learned a lot about that as well. They have document printing and photo printing.
The dimensions or something was like...
There's that, but also they do photo and document. Document printing, you can do it full color, everything like a photo. It's like a quarter of the cost of a photo printing.
It was very awkward.
It was very crazy, and I don't think I have the figure here of what we made on that, but I think we had a turnout of maybe 4 people.
I think it was a little more than that.
Okay, 5 people. And I'm not going to count the sound guy, the bartender, or our driver.
But we did make a decent amount of money.
Okay, well, that's good. Let's do a little math here. So for the recording album cost, $2,268.56.
Okay.
All right, plus $2,244 for the records.
Okay. Well, we added $700, right?
Plus $500
Or $500
for the artwork.
Plus $500. Okay.
Okay. Now the shipping was $118.45.
Okay.
Plus an additional $204.47.
Okay, I think I got it all going here.
Okay. Songbooks, $212.60.
Okay.
Posters, $497.17.
Say that with a straight face, why don't you? Okay.
CDs, $136.99.
Okay.
Merch pack, $142.25.
Got it.
Additional promotional costs, $75.97.
Okay.
And I think in full transparency, let's throw on $300 for the Outlaw poster image.
All right. Just, yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
Now, all right.
Actually, no, this is perfect.
Okay, so what's the full figure right here?
So all of that stuff you just said added up. $6,700.46.
Okay, so $6,746, okay? From that, you're not done yet.
I'm not done yet? Oh, boy, okay.
Okay. You're not done yet.
Calculator back up. Okay.
We raised $5,540.54.
Wait, so I'm going to subtract this, right?
Subtract it.
Say it again.
$5,540.54.
Okay. And that took everything we have to raise that. So if you subtract that, left over, the expenses are $1,159.92.
$1,159.92.
Yes.
Now,
so despite raising over $5,500, we have spent over $1,000
at this point,
extra.
We're thinking, okay, let's double down. All right.
Oh, we know.
So we needed some merchandise to sell. And we go, maybe we can buy some merch.
Because just for more, context with time, we were setting all this stuff up. We were going through all this during the spring of 2025, when we usually play a couple dozen shows in the summertime. Summertime, 3 or 4 months worth of our, that's when we work. A lot of the winter we're off. We don't really play a lot in the spring or even the autumn. So it's like, we were trying to plan for our time to sell the record that we just made. So here we are trying to plan. We're in the hole.
We're in the hole. $1,000, $159, $1,159.92. Now, we're not wealthy men. So if I say, hey, I need $1,025 from you real quick, or I'm sorry, no, I need like $525 from you.
I would say, let me go out to my car, and then you wouldn't see me for 3 weeks or hear from me. Go on.
That's a lot of money for me. $500 plus.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I did this Kickstarter was so I could make the record and not have to pay for it myself because I don't have the money. So
that's kind of the point of the Kickstarter.
So how about this? We played a show. A band had branded lighters we start investigating branded lighters. You can get lighters that are also a bottle opener.
Yeah, which I was hypnotized by that concept.
Pretty sweet.
So I pushed for the bottle opener style lighter.
So we spent an additional $712.25.
Do we have the amount of lighters that we got? I want to say it was like 500.
It was a minimum order was like 500, but yes, let's get the exact figure.
Let's find out. 500.
500 lighters, which we can only sell in person because shipping lighters is extremely prohibitive. You need to have all sorts of special regulations and pay all sorts of special costs to send. You know what they go, you have anything flammable, any bombs or anything when you go to mail and stuff? And you go,
Flammable,
no.
liquid, perishable.
Well, if you say yes, they go, okay, well, what do you and you have to go through a whole bunch of rigmarole. So we cannot sell these anywhere except for at shows.
And we knew that going into it. That wasn't a surprise.
It wasn't a surprise.
If we had gotten empty lighters that the consumer had to fill, we could have shipped them. But that's just silly.
Yeah.
We're not selling someone a lighter with no flame in it.
So now...
It would have been so easy, though.
So now we have to add the cost of all this other stuff because during this time, we bought a new clipboard for the band, which was $32.38
That sound like a lot right now?
for a clipboard. No, we got a nice
made
clipboard.
out of metal.
It's a metal clipboard that
Stainless
has
steel.
it's a box basically.
Yeah, it's a container and a clipboard.
Super useful. We use it for our mailing list at shows.
It's like what you see construction workers holding like on an important job site. And we probably had to pay shipping.
Yes.
I feel like we probably just didn't have free shipping for some reason. That happens every once in a while.
So I'm sorry. So can we do some more math here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust the computer on this one.
Okay.
All right, so
what do we got?
1,159.92
Okay.
plus 759.63.
That total is $1,919.55. And I might have some point of interest to add to this, but I want you to, if you have any thoughts to say about that figure, I would like you to say them.
What I would say is, in this sort of cost breakdown and post-mortem, if the true cost of the album is somewhere around $7,000 to $8,000, and everything we did around it, could we have raised $8,000? Getting to $5,000 was a stretch.
My gut reaction is no. We picked the absolute highest number we could have gotten, and only by the grace of God did we achieve that. Like, it was thanks to all the connections we made with people for the last couple of years. So many friends, so many family, so many fans of our music that we touched personally. We could not have done it without them. And we just owe it all to them. I don't think we could have gotten more than that because some people really came through and gave us quite a good amount of money.
There was that one guy who gave us $5,000.
Yeah.
And then everyone else chipped in a buck.
Yeah, like $1 from everyone else. So I don't think we could have raised... can I say one thing about that number, though?
Please.
So that's like the excess of what we raised, and then that's how much extra it cost, right?
This is basically what it cost us, what we wound up spending out of pocket.
Yeah. Well, check this out, man. We recorded this album in late 2023. We didn't start the Kickstarter. We didn't go through all the production of the album. But that is almost exactly what it cost us originally out of pocket before we even thought of a Kickstarter to go and record the album.
And you know something that I remember having a conversation with you early on
we just took it almost as a given that was gone.
I remember suggesting, I don't think there's any way that we're going to include the cost of recording in the Kickstarter.
No.
And I remember you being
we
like,
agreed on this.
I think you were like, I think we should. And I was like, I think,
I
after
don't know.
we talked about it more.
I might have had like a little bit of a like, oh, please.
And it's just
I
like,
wish. But I think by the end it was very clear that we just had to accept that we ate the cost of going and recording this with Hunter Davidson, getting a really great recording, really great mix. That was before we thought about any of these things and any of the numbers and costs associated with making the records themselves. But what we have that we paid out of pocket from all of our mathematical, moves here, that's almost exactly what it cost to do that first thing that we said, we're just going to have to eat that cost. It's almost exactly perfect.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Could we have gotten closer to the $5,000 costs if we knew a few things ahead of time? Like, if we knew that we didn't need 2 reels of tape, we could have saved $150 right there.
True. Yeah, let's go with this.
You know, we could have also saved ourselves, God, several $100s if we had gotten the mailing stuff correct for the poster tubes.
The poster tubes. Like, the posters are really dragging us down in these calculations.
Yeah, there's a few things. Now, in terms of actually making the record itself, I think, you know, we could have gone to a cheaper studio. We could have mixed it ourselves.
But
it wouldn't have been as good. I mean, we struck a really awesome balance with Hunter, just like of his willingness to work. He was very sick during the session,
and we got to give him credit for that.
I mean, he
was real sick, and
we've been lucky, I
through.
think, to find engineers who are willing to go. I think of Leighton, that we did the Slave Task EP with at the Space.
In the basement.
I think of doing the Syracuse Songs album with with Ryan Cohen.
Robot Dog.
Just like going, hey, let's just do 12 hours. Let's do 10 hours. Let's just go.
I love those days.
And it, you know, when you can do that and it feels good, you kind of gotta just go, it's worth it. It's worth the money, because that's studio magic. I mean, it really is. I've been in many studios and all sorts of expensive studios to the shittiest like basement with a laptop mic, and you don't always enjoy yourself. Even if it's casual or if it's super high end and you're like, wow, this experience, it's not always a fun, good vibe. Sometimes it's just kind of like, okay, we gotta get this take. Okay, you know?
No, and all those times you mentioned, including this, the vibe was there. You're in the space, you're doing the thing. It felt like, there's just something in the air. There's an ambience. There's like just this amazing quality of just the time around you happening. And I would say, too, this is uncompromising.
Yes.
I would say it's uncompromising.
That's a good way to put it.
We did exactly what we intended to do.
Yeah.
You know, creatively, artistically. We didn't have to say, we can't really afford this to make this as good as we want it to be.
No, and that's another thing where it's like, okay, the cover art's going to be $500. It's like, well, most of the time when I've commissioned works, it's been more in the $150 to $200 range from a lot of people.
But this guy's working for like the New York Times or something.
But this guy's, and he's meeting us where we're at, where he's at. You know what I'm trying to say?
Nice.
So it's like, when I thought about it that way, I go, we have the money from the Kickstarter. I'm not doing the Kickstarter to pay myself back. We're going, hey, we want this money to make a cool thing. No, but I mean, but maybe you do want part of the Kickstarter funds to be covering your hours spent working on the thing.
Yeah,
totally reasonable.
Yeah,
reasonable. And that's something I see sometimes. In certain projects, we need to hire so and so to work on this, but it's like, actually, we just needed the money to like, literally, we're like, manufacturing costs are the biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so we really tried to pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
To do this whole thing, and I guess I think even if we trimmed it down to the barest of bones, it still probably would have exceeded what we raised.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did.
Yeah, but like I am grateful that we were able to make what we spent.
Yeah.
We probably made that back during gigging during the summer.
For sure, yeah.
The band does
the record,
sustain itself.
This is a project that is for profit in the end. We were making a record that was intended as, an expression, an artistic expression, but we're selling it for a profit because we're giving you the numbers here. We're selling them for 30?
25, 30?
I think it's $30.
20?
We'll see. Check the Bandcamp page.
We haven't played a show in 7 months.
And that was like, kind of part of the deal is that shortfall we did probably make up in profits and merch sales, which is how a lot of bands have to do it between playing somewhere and especially merch sales.
Yeah, so, and this is something that we'll be selling at shows, hopefully for years to come, as long as we remain a band together. Yeah. And we could break up. As long as we have them.
Yeah, we could break up.
And if we do, these will be a lot more valuable.
Yeah. You could resell them out there for a profit.
You can. So if you would like to buy any of our records in bulk.
Yeah, please order 10 at a time. We'll give you a slight break.
Oh, okay. I mean, that feels like a good place to end it. I think there's so much we could say about the emotional ups and downs of working on this for 2 years.
Yeah,
You know?
it was a long, long project. That was, I think we got sick of at different times, but we knew how, we saw the end in sight, and all the way down the line. We knew it was worth doing, and it was just something we were really proud of, and that carried us through all the hard times.
You know, and I feel more comfortable saying this because it was such a group effort, you know, between us, Ricardo, Hunter, everybody that helped push this thing along, and, you know, of course, the backers. I think the quality of it really shows that I've talked to people who are familiar with us and our music, and they go, I've had a few people go, you didn't record this around here. What is this? You know, they go, this is pretty nice, actually, in a way where you're almost like cautious of like, what did you do? I think, you know, well,
Yeah.
I'm very glad that that's the feeling it invokes in some people, because that was the hope, is that we'd make something that is, you know, better than what we could do on our own. You know,
Yeah.
that
a good
was why
point.
we needed that Kickstarter money to go, hey, we can bring it this far, but if you meet us here and give us some funding, we can go to the moon.
Dream to realize. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of comments from people who have listened to it and got exactly what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
So if that isn't validating, I don't know what is.
Well, thank you for listening to us talk
Yeah,
about this album.
Hopefully it sheds some light on some stuff for you, and you can take what we've said and apply it to any kind of project you have, or who knows. But maybe we just helped you fall asleep. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll be back to more. We'll be back soon.
We'll be back to more.
We'll be back for more, baby.